Well, welcome everybody, and thanks for being here. I'm going to present to you a presentation titled Office 365 for your business. And basically, I'm going to give you a high-level overview of Office 365 and how it can be beneficial for your business. Now, my name is Fernando Sosa. I'm the managing partner from HaonTech.com. And my goal tonight is to give you valuable information, valuable content, and help you understand how you can elevate your business by utilizing Office 365. Now, Office 365 I've been using for the past 3-4 years. Actually, when it first came out 3-4 years ago, almost five years ago. And so, in my business from the very beginning, I quickly started using most of the functionalities that's available on Exchange, on SharePoint, and on storing documents online, and also in utilizing Link. I'm going to go in a little bit in depth later on, and I'm going to show you a quick demo of some of the functionality, some of the features of Office 365. Now, before Office 365, my business was pretty much like any typical business that didn't have it then. I have a desktop. I have files on my desktop. I had a laptop. I had files on my laptop. And usually, as an IT business, I have to travel often. And so I had the challenges that when I was on the road and I needed to access a file, or I had a copy, I had to copy it before leaving the office. So I had to copy it from my desktop, and I had to either put it on a USB drive, USB key, and copy it to the laptop, and then take it, work on it on the road, and then when I get back to the office, I have to copy it back to my desktop so I can back it up on my local server. And it was very cumbersome, and sometimes I even had to email the files to myself just so I can have access to it from outside. So that's the typical scenario. And also, to circumvent that, I use a remote connection to connect to the office. But those are different scenarios, different workarounds that I had to try just to get access to my files, just to get access to my documents and work on documents when I was away from my office. After Office 365, that totally changed, because now I can access my office on any computer, any device, anywhere I am, and it's always available. And it really transformed the way I conducted business. I was more available to my clients. The information that I always had it with me, and literally, I mean, I'm going to show you later on that Office 365 there's no longer the dependency of one desktop or one laptop or one location, one physical location. Once you move to Office 365, your data is available and you can access it from multiple devices anywhere you are. So I'm going to go into that and try to understand and try to apply or think about what I'm going to tell you tonight, and see how it applies to your business. And because every business has different requirements, and you might not see or appreciate the value in some of the functionality until you actually put it into practice in your own business. So Office 365 is a gamut of services. It's more than just one application, two applications. I have here in this chart, as you can see, it includes business class email, online document storage and file sharing, online meetings, private social network, financially backed SLA, technical support. Financially backed SLA is very important. SLA stands for Service Level Agreement. Financially backed SLA, meaning that they don't have enough uptime. They guarantee a 99.9% uptime. So basically, they don't just say they're going to be up 99.9%. They actually back it up with money. So if they fail to achieve that goal, then they either give you a credit or they give you some type of financial compensation for that. So basically, it's a guarantee that you're going to be available all the time. Now, that's something that before Office 365, it's very hard to achieve this uptime. And as you can understand, downtime in a business, doesn't matter if it's a few minutes, an hour or more, that is detrimental to any business, because being down, you basically spending money just sitting around. If you have multiple employees and they're all down and they can't work, that's costing you money. So with Office 365, it helps you and your business stay up all the time. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is that Office 365, all the components of Office 365 are enterprise-grade components. This means that the applications that are running on Office, that run Office 365, run on hardware, networking equipment, servers, all of these, the infrastructure required to run all of these services were not feasible for small businesses to have. So because they're high, hundreds of thousands of dollars in hardware and infrastructure just to run these applications. So this is a typical services that large enterprises use. And now with Office 365, it's available to mostly everybody. So this is something that it's easy to overlook, but it's very important to understand that Office 365 is the same system that Fortune 100 or million-dollar companies use. All that is available now to your small business. And so that's something very important for you to understand. You're using the same technology, the same tools that these large businesses are using. Now, let me skip up to go to the next slide. So what does my business need to be prepared? Here are some comments that I've heard from people mentioned over and over. I have our team works from many locations. We need to stay connected no matter what. Very common scenario when there's multiple people in a company, and typically there's a lot of people that are remote workers, or they work from home, or they work they're in the field a lot, and or they're virtual assistant, or people work in the same in a different city or different state, and even in other parts of the world. So they need to work together, or they need to collaborate. That's a common scenario. Another quote here says, we need anywhere access to anytime access to files and business tools. Again, that need is fulfilled with Office 365 because you can access your data from anywhere. And another comment here is we need modern solutions that help us collaborate. Collaboration is a big benefit as well with Office 365, and we'll see later on why. We have customers nationwide. We need better tools to stay connected. All of that is fulfilled here. Zero downtime is a must. Stop spending on soon-to-be obsolete technology. One key thing about Office 365 is that it's a service that it's a subscription service that always keeps the software up to date. So unlike the perpetual licenses where you buy a software and then if there's an upgrade, then a couple of years pass by, then you have to upgrade, pay for an upgrade. Office 365 is always up to date. So when you subscribe to Office 365, you're always going to have the latest version of Office. That's all included in the service. Now, how can Office 365 elevate your business? Well, these 4 key things. To being productive, it's about being productive anywhere. You don't want to be tied to one office, to one desk, to one particular computer. You want to be productive anywhere you are. So Office 365 allows you this productivity because once your data is in the cloud and all of these services are available from the cloud, then you basically can do your work anywhere you want. So work better together. Collaboration is a big key thing for businesses. And to be efficient, you have to have tools in place where you can not only have multiple people, but that these people work more efficiently and they don't waste time, and they are able to work together better. So Office 365 allows you to do that, and I'll get into that more later. Protect what matters most. So enterprise-grade protection, like I said. Data is securely stored. backed up, redundant data centers, all of that large enterprises have, now it's available to you. And you want to build for tomorrow. Like I said, Office 365 is continuously being updated, and so you're always going to have the latest version of Office all the time. Being productive from anywhere, okay? Now, like I said, any device, even Apple, iPads, Android devices, Windows desktops, of course, and tablets, any device that you have today, your phone, right? You can access your documents, you can update them, you can share them, you can. It's a huge advantage, a competitive advantage, I might add, that you have access to your data anytime that you want it. Now, Office 365, when it's you have the service per user, each user can install the Office on up to 5 PCs or Macs and 5 mobile devices. So unlike before, when you bought the software, you bought Office, you can only install that on one computer, and that's the license that you have for one device. So if you have 2 devices, you have to install 2 copies, 2 licenses for one for each device. Now with Office 365, when you have one user license, license in Office 365, you can actually install Office on multiple computers. And typical user has more than one computer, more than one device, and so this fulfills that need. Now, the documents, there's a service called OneDrive for Business, where you can store your files in the cloud, all your files, PDFs, Word documents, Excel, all your files, you can upload them to OneDrive, and then there, the documents can be accessed from all these devices that you have. You can also share documents on OneDrive, and they give you up to 1 terabyte of storage. But if you need more, you can get more. 1 terabyte for a business, a small business, is typically going to be enough, but it depends. I mean, if you do need more space, that's also available, and it automatically saves to the cloud. Once you're working on any documents in Office, it synchronizes in the cloud. So if I'm working on my laptop and I'm working away on some document, it's syncing to the cloud. If I shut down the computer and then I access it on my phone, or even I don't need to shut down my computer, I can open it up on my phone, and I'm going to see the exact changes that I did on my desktop from my phone. So because it's always in sync, it's always synchronizing constantly. So you can drag and drop. I see in this slide, you can drag and drop. You can sync files to your PC. You can click on a button and it basically syncs. One thing about syncing is to understand that we're talking about moving your Office to the cloud, but what happens? One common question that people ask me is, what happens when the internet? I don't have internet connection, or I'm on a plane, or I'm on the subway, or something, or some scenario that you don't have internet access. Well, you can still have the Office applications on your computer, and so you can still work offline. Then when you're working offline, the data, the files that you're saving are stored on your computer, on your local file, on your local computer, right? And then once you do get online, it automatically synchronizes to the cloud. So this is very key, because some cloud services, like for example Google Apps, is a competitor in terms of the productivity suite, but that only works online, right? There's no desktop, there's no local application, full feature application that you can work offline. With Office 365, you can work offline and online, of course. Here on the interface again, you can find files, quickly find files. It's a very friendly interface here. And of course you have apps for your mobile devices where you can access the files as well. So you can access it from the web browser, and you can also access it on these apps for the applications. Now, one of the things that you'll notice is that everything can be accessed from a browser. Let's say, for example, you don't have your computer with you. You're on the road, or you're in a hotel, or you go to the library, or in some instances, or your laptop just died, or your battery just got drained, and you don't have your computer, right? If you have access to another computer and you have internet access on that computer, you can just open up the browser and you can get to your Office documents, and you can actually work on your Office document. You can work on all these applications, Word, Excel. You have it available just by opening it on the browser. And so that's again another example of how you can access your data, and you can work on your documents from anywhere. Now, one cool feature about Office as well is that you can have conferences or video conferencing in your Office. Another great collaboration and productivity tool is that you have people that may not be physically located in the same room, and you can quickly spawn a meeting, or either just chat, or you can just chat, or audio chat, or video chat. And then you can also share documents or share the screen and collaborate in real time. Another great way, great tool that's available. Skype, if you're familiar with Skype, Skype was acquired by Microsoft a couple of years ago, and they've been in the process of integrating it to their chat application called Link, or telecommunication application. And you're going to see now there's a new service called Skype for Business, which is basically they integrated Skype and Link together, and that's something you're going to see being promoted heavily soon. It's already available, Skype for Business. So basically, it's like Skype, but it has more business type features integrated into it. Always available HD conferencing, so you can have your meetings with your clients very easily, and set up a meeting request integrated with your calendar, and it's a great way to, again, have a competitive advantage. You use this kind of tools with your clients, and you're definitely going to stand out from the rest. You can also create documents quickly. Excel, especially Excel for 2013, has some wizards where it automatically formats or recommend charts based on data. So it's increased productivity with the professional templates that you're going to see there. Here's an example there. Now, how do you work better together in terms of collaboration? Anywhere you can have a meeting. You can quickly set up or join meetings from any device. You can have the video conferencing and HD video, and you have something called the online statuses, or the presence, where every user has a presence, and they're able to identify if another person, another user is available, is away, is offline. So even though, again, you're not physically on the same room, but this online presence for each user is identified by this icon and the color, and it tells you if they're away, how long they've been away, etc., etc. So it's a cool, very nice way to enhance the productivity in the office space, where you can quickly see if somebody's available, send them a quick text message, a quick message, instant message, and if you want, you can make a phone call from there or video conference in the same application, and you can have multiple people join as a group conversation in a group chat. It's tied into your calendar, so you can schedule meetings, and it's all integrated. All these services are fully integrated, so it's not like you're getting all these different applications and they're all work independently. They're all integrated and work seamlessly together. Now, in terms of communicating, one thing that I mentioned is that this has a business class email. Now, what does that mean? This is basically the top of the line. It's an Exchange server. Exchange is the name of the mail server that the product utilizes. This is the same mail server, the same mail technology that these large corporations use. There's tons of features loaded into this application. Outlook here, you can use it for calendaring, for scheduling, meetings, and yes, other tools might have the same functions, or they advertise themselves as having these same functions. But once you utilize Office, and you utilize Outlook and the mail servers, the mail functionality, and how it integrates with Office, you'll see what the difference is. You'll notice it right away. Many small businesses I know use personal email services for their business, and they really don't know what they're missing. And you can tell when another business is using Office or, in this particular case, the email application, and the functions the features that it has. You can tell. So it's a way to have a competitive advantage, a way to enhance your business. Business class email with Office 365. It's always protected against spam and malware. The server automatically scans the emails coming into the server. And of course, you can have your own antivirus, anti-malware protection at your local desktop and on your devices. But before getting to that, it actually gets protected from the server. Now, one thing that I mentioned about OneDrive for Business is that you can store documents on your OneDrive for Business, and these documents you can actually share with your clients, your prospects, people that don't have access to your documents. But if you wanted to, for example, share a proposal or an image or something, some important document, and you wanted to share it with somebody that's not in your company, you can share anything that you have in your OneDrive and send a link to them, and they can either view it only or they can edit. That's under your control. It's a very good way to share documents. Typically the case is that you have these large documents or pictures or something that you need to share, and you end up emailing them, and because they're too big, it ends up being bounced back or blocked or blocked by spam filter somewhere. So sharing documents, large documents, is the best way to do it is with your OneDrive. And of course, the data, everything on OneDrive is backed up, secure, and it's easy to control access of the data by setting permissions. Here an example how you can easily share documents with others. You select the file, you click on share, it provides a link, and then you email that link to people. Another way is just entering their email address and share directly within the Office application that's available. Now, working together in real time, collaboration. If you co-author documents in your Office, you know how difficult it is when you have one document open and you want to have somebody else collaborate with you and add stuff, add content and comments on the same documents. It becomes a nightmare. Either the document is locked or somebody's overwriting somebody else's work. So if you've ever done collaborating with documents, you understand this particular dilemma. With Office 365, you can actually co-author documents in real time together, and you can actually see the changes that other people are doing in real time, and you can prevent people from overwriting each other's work. So it's very interesting to see collaboration in real time when you're sharing documents and with Office 365. Now, one thing interesting is, if you're familiar with Facebook and the social media, with Office 365, you can set up a private social network for your company. You can think of it as like your own local Facebook, but just for your employees. There's a product that's integrated into Office 365 called Yammer, and it's really very similar to the social media services that you're already using, but just for your company. This is a great collaboration tool because now your employees, again, it's about being open, collaborative, responsive. So now you can have your private social network in your company where people can update statuses and share what they're working on and basically have a more friendly and productive environment. So that's available in Office 365 right out of the box. Now, when you want to protect what matters, like I mentioned before, your email is protected against viruses and malware, and you can control the settings just by following some prompts on the screen. It's very easy to block certain messages or have certain policies in place, and something that you can configure easily in the back end. Now, OneDrive documents that are in OneDrive, You can save emails, contacts, and documents into the cloud. So if you ever have an outage in your, let's say in your office, and you can rest assured that all your data is in the cloud backed up. It's all stored there, so you can safeguard your business data. And if you have employee turnover, it's very easy to protect that, because it's not something that your employees have access like locally, but you can protect it easier if you have your documents on your OneDrive account. Now, one thing about mobile devices, I mentioned that mobile, you can access your Office documents from any device. So Office 365 provides a functionality where you can control the data that's on the mobile devices. So if, for example, a mobile device is lost or stolen, you can log into your Office 365 account and remotely wipe that the data that's on the devices. So that's a security feature that helps protect the data in the event that the devices get lost. And as well, if employees got turned over or employees leave, in that sort of scenario, you want to make sure that the data on their devices is protected or is wiped out if it needs to be. You can enforce policies, like you can set up passwords, enforce password protection on the device. So this opens up the possibility of employees bringing their own devices at work. So they can bring their own personal phones to check their business email. If you allow that, you can restrict you can apply certain restrictions on the phones just because they're accessing the business email. So you have more control over that. So it's not just like they're using their personal phone to access business email and you have no control over it. You do have control over that. And you can selectively wipe data on mobile devices. And there's a lot of different policies and settings that you can set up in terms of allowing simple passwords, required encryption on the device, etc. Now, you want to expect business continuity. One of the things that I don't hear a lot is the term business continuity when it comes to small businesses. I hear a lot about backup, but not about business continuity. Business continuity has to do with being available all the time and have zero or a little downtime. When you have a backup, that's okay, but how much time does it take to restore? That is sometimes not well planned out, and businesses just simply trust that they have a backup, but they don't realize that in the event that they need to use that backup, if they have an outage and they need to restore something, it takes time to restore, and that time can vary depending on how much data is backed up. So downtime is an interruption to your business, and that's where business continuity in general comes into play. It's not just about Office, but in general, business continuity. So Office 365 provides the 99.9% uptime guarantee. So that is one way to mitigate business continuity in that aspect. So you really want to look into business continuity as a whole and make sure that your business is covered in terms of that. Now, there's a dashboard, an admin center that I'm showing you here, where you can see if there's any issues with the different services that are in Office 365. So you'll know if there's something being reported, and if there's an issue going on, you'll be in touch. You'll know it from here. There's also a console where you can manage the users. You can add or delete users, and you can restrict, set permissions, etc. there. One thing this reminds me to mention is that Office 365 is a subscription service. So the cost of Office 365 is based on how many users are using it. And think about that for a second. If your business grows, all you need to do, and you add employees, all you need to do is add another user, and you're paying them by user. On the flip side, if your business downsizes, or you have seasonal employees where you add and you remove employees, you just remove the users, and then you're not paying for those licenses for those users. So that's something that is very important to understand with cloud solution like this, is that you're paying by what you're using. So if you think about it, if you had the regular software where the perpetual license where you have temporary users, you still have to buy this application, right? And even though the person is not going to use it 100% of the time, or is not going to be in the company for long, you still have to buy the software and absorb that cost. With the Office 365, you're using it as needed. So that's something very important, and I can go more into that later. Now, so all your information, well, here I'm going to show you a page where Microsoft has a page called the Trust Center. They talk about all the requirements, all the certifications, the HIPAA certification, everything that is in terms of security and meeting compliance requirements. You can see here on this document here, on this page. Okay, so building for tomorrow. Now, like I said, the services are scalable, so you don't have to add more hardware, right? If you were to have your own infrastructure and running your own servers, an email server, a SharePoint server, a link server, all these servers, if you wanted to run it locally, and your business grows, you have to grow and expand your hardware. With the cloud, with Office 365, you don't have to worry about that infrastructure. All you're paying for is the service, and all the hardware, all the infrastructure costs that's in the back end, and that's absorbed by Microsoft. So you don't have to worry about that. It's scalable. The service is scalable. So that's very important for you to think about. And so in order to stay competitive, you always have the latest version of Office 365. I know a lot of businesses have Office 2003, which is not supported, Office 2007, Office old versions, and you're missing out on the features and productivity tools that come in the suite. So with Office 365, you can eliminate downtime and business impact from software updates too, because there's always being updated, and that's something that is also very important to understand. So there's no upfront costs, okay? There's no capital cost. So again, if you were to upgrade all your software in your office and buy the individual licenses, that's a capital cost. And you have to buy the hardware, that's a capital cost to support the software, the servers, right? With Office 365, it's just a low monthly fee per user. And so now the cost becomes an operating expense. So there's a difference between a capital expenditure and an operating expense, and there's tax advantages to that as well. You can speak to your CPA about that. So that's something else that you want to think about. So you don't have to focus anymore on maintaining the hardware with Office 365. Many businesses still have these servers which are becoming obsolete, but they have to troubleshoot it, they have to support it, they have to fix it. So with Office 365, you don't have to worry about that. So you can focus on your core business, and you don't need to worry about fixing the servers or fixing computers that are running these services. So business is better with Office 365. Here are some quotes from some people. Here's one says from Alice says, Office 365 gives us all the IT that we need, and the best part is we don't have to manage or maintain it. It's all taken care of for us. Like I said, all the hardware to run these services, it's totally behind the scenes. You don't have to worry about that, about the technology behind it. Office 365 really allows you to go anywhere and have a mobile office. Everybody can use the same document at the same time. We're able to view and make modifications together collaboratively and save them and forward them at the same time to our clients. Okay, so these are all quotes from different people. So let's finish up. Let's start wrapping it up. Now, as I showed you, the right choice for your business is Office 365 Premium. Premium has all the advantages for all the services that are available for small business. It's the one that I use and very happy with it. So you'll see it has the email, the document sharing, online meeting, the private social network, Office applications that you can install on your device, on your devices, up to 300 users, mix and match with other plans for a tailored solution. So it is really the right choice. It is possible that your business might be better off with a different plan, but that's something that we can talk about one-on-one if we have a conversation, and I can show you. There's other plans, and the one that I'm talking about here is the business premium. Here's a chart that shows a comparison chart that shows the different options. You got the business, you got business essentials, and the business premium. Okay, and again, you need to take your time to see what it includes, and you basically pick the one that's best for you. I ideally recommend business premium, but it depends on your situation, and again, you can mix and match plans because remember, this is by user. So one user might be business premium, and you might have somebody else that's mobile that doesn't need the desktop applications. It really depends. So that's a conversation that you'll have with your Microsoft partner, and I can help you with that. Okay. So what are the next steps? Well, the next step is you send email to us, your Microsoft partner. Okay. Raise your hand and send an email and say you're interested, and then you can schedule your cloud readiness assessment. And the cloud readiness assessment is where we come in and we assess your network. We let you know what you need to do in order to migrate to Office 365. I have another slide where I'm going to explain a little bit more, and then you begin the implementation. So the cloud readiness assessment, like I said, it's an on-site assessment. We go on-site. We basically check your network, check all your workstations, make sure they're all running a version of Windows that is supported, that is updated. Before moving to Office 365, it has to be updated with the security updates, the patches. So all of that has to be prepared in advance. The mailboxes that you currently have have to be migrated. So you have to see what size the mailboxes are. If there's any foreseen problems that we can see by migrating the mailboxes to Exchange. We check all the mobile devices that, at least the ones that you anticipate being used. If you have some devices that are your corporate devices, we can plan ahead and see what policies we need to put in place. Server considerations. If you have servers, we'll see which one will be decommissioned, or if we can integrate them or use them like an on-site or a hybrid solution. So there's different scenarios there that we have to look at. Integrations with your current system, your current servers, and see how we need to integrate. If you have an Active Directory, see how that's going to work. So basically, it's a way to prepare you for the migration. It's not just you're going to sign up and that's it. Yes, technically you just sign up and it's there, but if you have your infrastructure in place, you wanna be able to move your data and your services to the cloud. You want to check your firewall to make sure there's nothing that will prevent some type of connectivity with Office 365, your security policy, DNS consideration, and we're going to give you a migration action plan. So all of that is an on-site visit. Usually takes a couple of hours or a day. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure being here tonight. I hope I provided some value for you and you understand better, and your questions were answered about Office 365. Thank you, everybody.